Clap it up, clap it up, clap it up. Yes, sir. We had another 100% day. No losses, man. Straight getting to the point, man. So we played spy puts today. We banked. Right at open. Well, not right at open, but we waited, right? Waited for the rejection. At open, got some puts, 1 DTs. Those went 250%. Rolled 730s. Those went 85%. Rolled to some more. We got a couple 100%. You know, nothing too crazy. Nothing too crazy, you know what I'm saying? Amazing day, man. So let's go over the game plan and basically kind of see, why did we take those trades? How did we know, where the market was going and what made us kind of take those initial heavy size shorts at the beginning of the day. So without further ado, man, let's go ahead and get to it. So SPY, it gapped up, right? So the gap up was already very suspect because it gapped up and the dollar continued to push, right? So remember, we've been talking about the dollar and the VIX and how they correlate to each other, and how when the VIX is elevated and then the dollar is also pushing up, to kind of be hesitant on over really crazy pops, because they most likely could just be an oversold pop. So we might get ready to short that. So we had that, right, and then we had our breakdown retest zone of 746. Rather than 746.25, right? Remember, we broke down over here from that day that we got down. So we came up here, right? Remember, whenever we could try to figure out what possibly the market could do, all we got to do is look left, right? So not only did we have this kind of wedge playing out that we just kind of back tested, we also had, what just happened? We also had the kind of low volume on the pop today, right? So at the beginning of the day, the volume, it wasn't like, oh, this push is going to be crazy. So we already kind of had, a nasty sell incoming. So like I said, once we triggered that pre-market low, we just went ahead and grabbed those puts, held them. Pre-market high, we lost that. They just continued to flush, right? Kind of broke down out of this channel. We waited for that to fill the gap, and then it filled the gap, right? And then it took our previous day's low. So once we got around previous day's low and our main level, right, of 736.40, that's when we were like, all right, cool, we're gonna take everything out. Yeah, you're good. And Bertie said, like good. But yeah, so it's nothing too crazy. So, and then at the end of the day, we just chopped around, which is why I said, hey, don't, if you want to take something, be safe. Take a few days out or something like that. So we ended up taking some 1DTs. Those ended up going also, I think, like 85% or something like that. So I am swinging puts. I said market's kind of been shifty a little lately, so I've been constantly swinging some puts, man. But yeah, we kind of just chopped around a little bit here. I caught this, reject here. Those went absolutely nuts. Sold at new low of day. I forget how much, actually. We can actually pull that up. Well, it doesn't matter anyway. It was over 100%. Or maybe right. Might have been exactly at 100%. I don't even remember. But yeah, man, it was a nice day, man. Very, very nice day. Oh, yeah, we got the calls, too. Nice little pop here. Took those for 100%. And yeah, that was pretty much it. That was pretty much it as far as taking trades. So remember, less is more, right? You don't need to take too many trades, but some of them, like I said, the initial oversold bounce at the previous day's low, that was pretty much a given. So where do we go from here? Why am I swinging shorts? Let's kind of get into it. So first things first, obviously, like I said, you still want to start with the VIX. VIX is still above, really above 17, which is the level I kind of watch for, any kind of crazy spikes or anything like that, right? We did come down, we consolidated for a few, for a while, and then boom, broke out, retest. So we're still kind of up, right? We almost hit 20 today, so that is pretty nuts. The dollar as well, right? The dollar is just still pumping. The dollar didn't really get as much of a pullback as the VIX did, which, like I said, means somebody's unloading some stocks and equities, right? Somebody's going cash right now. So, like I said, you put all that together, you kind of, it's rug pull territory. And I talked about this before the market opened in the chat today. So, like I said, multiple reasons why we took those puts. Now, why do I think that we'll probably come down here and fill this lower gap? Because remember, anything under 740 is technically bearish, right? And how do we know? Why do we think that, right? Remember, it's not about what we feel or how we feel about certain things. Oh, honestly, wait, let me move this over here real quick. Because now it'll be previous day's low, previous day's close, and previous day's high. There you go. But you know what I'm saying? So it's not really up to us to decide, like, oh, well, it's because I feel like, no. Anything underneath this has just historically came down, Look, underneath here, came here. Underneath here, came here, right? Underneath, it comes down. Above, it goes up. So 740 is kind of this middle point because, remember, zooming out will always, when in doubt, zoom out, right? What do we see when we zoom out? We're inside of this giant range. Right now, we are smack in the middle, 740. That's why it's our pivot. So above it, we can go up higher, Below it, You know, I'm not saying, oh, heavily short or aggressively short, but I'm just saying, you know, pretty much most of the time when we are underneath it, right? Boom, we do come down here, right? When we're underneath it, we don't come down. You know what I'm saying? So we're taking those setups based upon what the market's done before, right? Because at the end of the day, we don't control the markets. We don't, you know, we have no say-so whatsoever. So whatever it's going to do, it's just going to do it, right? Regardless if we wanted to or not, if we feel like it should pop, if we feel like, unfortunately, they don't care, right? They do not care. No one cares. So, you know, you have to kind of take that part of your you know, your mind off and turn it off a little bit, which is why, like I said, even though we opened up so high today, I didn't want to go long because, like I said, everything else was already lining up for some sort of rug pull. So, you know, bought puts, and that was just it for today. So now going to tomorrow, right? We have previous day's close, which will be today's close, which is 7:39. So 7:39 and 7:35.85 will be your absolute best levels if the market is bullish to remain above these two zones, right? So even if we gap down, right, as long as we kind of hold 7:35, push back above previous day's close, 7:40. Remember, 7:40 is key. Then we possibly, you know, could push back up into 7:45, yesterday's high. Well, today's high, but tomorrow it'll be yesterday's high. You feel what I'm saying? But yeah, we could do that, or you know, if we do gap up crazy again, right? Let's say we just gap up all the way up here, 7:44. I still would be hesitant, right, about going long into that previous day high, just because this is where it broke down from, right? So remember, we'll probably initially get a pullback. So if that pullback rolls, like I said, you just gotta let it roll. But if it tends to hold 740, right, we might be range bound. So kind of, you know, be a little hesitant with just entering new positions because, you know, like I said, the market is we're having some pretty wild moves, right? We did the same thing over here. We had that bear flag, it broke down, and then it gapped all the way up just to come all the way back down. So history kind of repeats itself, you know. It may not always exactly repeat itself, but it doesn't rhyme. So that's upside, right? Upside, we already know our upside potential, right? Anything over 750, that's when we're back in the game. Bulls are back in the game. And y'all know me, I'm a bull, man. I love bullish markets, I love bullish plays, but we have to trade what we see, not what we feel. So downside, right? Let's say we lose Thursday's low, which is 735.30, right? And that includes previous day's close and previous day's lows, obviously. So if we do lose that, y'all know where we coming, man. The coveted 731. So I hope if we are bullish, I hope that we get here before CPI. You know what I'm saying? I hope, or not CPI. Is it CPI? My fault. FOMC. One of the ones. I don't have the calendar up right now, but before major data on Wednesday. My fault for the mix-up. But before major data and earnings, right? Because we do have earnings as well. I would prefer them to go ahead and, you know, get it in that area to where it feels scary, like, oh, it's over with. You know what I'm saying? Kind of like how it does every time over here, right? We lose these major zones and it just feels like, oh, it's over with. It's over. It's so over. And then it, you know, rockets back up. It's so over. So I do kind of hope that if we are bullish, it does kind of come down here to give us a good buy opportunity, because this would be a good place to buy anyway, you know, according to just, like I said, looking left, this would be a good place to buy because we left a bullish gap here. So if that does play out, I won't be looking for new shorts at all in this zone. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, it was beautiful to take heavy shorts up here, but we're already pretty much halfway through the zone. So, you know, I don't want to just go too crazy. But like I said, we'll see how it all plays out, because we can open up right here. You know, we could kind of get a little fake out, you know, and then get some lower high or something like that. You know, so we'll play it by ear, you know, in the group chat and stuff like that. So, you know, you already know. But I want to give a shout out to my students, man. Y'all are just doing really good. Proud of y'all. You know, Q3's upon us. So now I got new students, the Q3 students. Yeah, and I'm looking forward to working with y'all and getting this mentorship on the road, man. So yeah, SPY's gonna be pretty cool, pretty simple, right? Same rules, nothing's changed, right? Remember what I say, you keep it simple, it will be simple. You complicate it, it will be complicated, all right? So don't do that. Don't complicate stuff for yourself. You don't have to, you know what I'm saying? No one forces you to complicate things. It's just naturally as humans, our brains will, if we don't know the exact answer, we'll just be like, you know what I'm saying, and just make up an answer for ourselves. But we can't really do that with the stocks because it's not up to us, you know what I'm saying? We don't control anything, so we can't just make this up. So yeah, below 735, 736, right? 731, below 731, 725. Gap at 731.29. So yeah, man, we'll see how this all plays out. You know, as the days go by, as the weeks go by. It's only Monday, right? So who knows? We could stay sideways for all I know. We can go at all-time high. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? So we'll take it day by day, level by level, and just kind of go from there. Now let's see if we look at anything else. Looks good. Amazon's coming down. NVDA also coming down still inside this channel, right? And we talked about this failure. Damn, it actually came right there. I did not catch any of this today. That sucks. Meta still coming down in that support zone. Well, possible support zone. SPCX. SPCX getting smacked. But I feel like when they touch that 100 psychological level, it might be a nice little, you know, a little relief bounce or something. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. Tesla. Oh my goodness. Oh snap. Yeah, we talked about Tesla coming down, but I didn't think it was gonna come down here so fast. We were talking about 350. Jeez Louise. Yeah. But be careful though with Tesla and SpaceX. They are selling off pretty crazy. But you know, when Tesla does have those rallies, it does go quick. So, you know, this might be a good time maybe to slowly start accumulating. You know what I'm saying? Maybe. I don't know. We'll have, like I said, it's only Monday, so we'll have to see how the rest of the week plays out and levels and stuff like that. What else? Goog. And then we'll go over some more earnings plays too, you know, tomorrow and stuff like that. So, yeah, like I said, it's just Monday, you know, getting a little feel for everything, and it feels like everything is coming down. So, yeah. And then another thing too, you can zoom out and kind of look at this megaphone pattern from oh no, I guess it'd be this January, yeah, beginning of the year, January end of last year, right? We kind of bounced off it again, but we're not really getting a buy, right? So this is another reason why I'm kind of aiming this 730 level, because it also is that top of that megaphone. And if we do lose that, you know, that could lead to, you know, more downside and possibly coming back to test, you know, this original all-time high level, which would make sense, you know, just based on price action. And it would also give us some sort of lower high on the weekly with the, you know, a pullback. So, like I said, man, we'll see how everything plays out. Just want to do a little quick video today, not too crazy, you know, a nice little fun day, you know. But like I said, man, y'all know where to find me at. All my links, everything, social media, everything's in the bio, description. Follow me on IG at OKBet. OKBET, I know what's going on. But yeah, man, we starting the week off with 100% win rate, so you can't complain, man. You cannot complain. Said y'all ready to bank. We have major earnings data this week, so I personally will be taking less trades. Still gonna call some good setups, but not too much, because I know I don't want to get caught up in the pre-earnings chop. And that's true. That's why I'm not swinging heavy. Like, I am inputs, but I'm not. Trust me, after 200%, we're not just, you know, being stupid with it. But yeah, man, it's a very directional day. So we'll see how everything plays out. If you need me, holla. I'll see you. Peace. Keep God first and keep it simple. Peace.